Hello, my name is Mike, and today we're going to do some yoga practice. A little more active with standing, but not too active. Focusing more on some of the standing postures. We'll start with some sun salutations, with just the forward folding and the downward upward facing dog type movements. And then we'll also do some warrior poses and some side triangle and lunge type postures. So you can always, this is a good practice to get warmed up and become more aware of any imbalances in musculature on either side, and build some strength and also some flexibility. It allows us to move more into that awareness of the body movement and the breathing as well. So we're focusing on breathing also while we're moving. Now, if at any time any of these postures seem too difficult, then we could always modify or rest back or remain in one posture. Or on the other hand, you can always take it and move more quickly through the postures and the breath. Today we're going to start standing. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing a Veterans Yoga Project t-shirt. That's actually a group that offers free yoga classes for veterans, which I'm actually a veteran, so I signed up for the app, and I've had some experienced teachers right there in real time, giving me class on yoga nidra or some kind of a gentle yoga. They have some other classes they could take video chat through the app, and it's actually free. It's taught by different volunteers who are teaching yoga. And so I might end up teaching it for them one day. They have more specific focus on resiliency from trauma or any kind of resiliency. The back of the t-shirt says, I think, mindful resilience. So I'm just representing because, it's definitely, I found that it was a good practice, and maybe one day I'll eventually work with them as well. But I'm only wearing it because, I participated. So we can start our practice today standing in the mountain pose. Taking a few breaths down into the ground, reaching the head up towards the sky. Allowing each breath to sink as we're expanding with some awareness of body movements as we're breathing. We'll start with some forward folds, inhale and raising up. The arms exhaling and folding forward. Raising up with the flat back and inhaling to standing. Raising up the arms. Exhaling, folding forward. Taking an inhale, raising up again. And exhaling, folding. We'll do another forward fold, inhaling, raising up, feeling the body become warm, exhaling, folding. We could let our head hang here a bit. A slight micro bend in the knees. Taking a few breaths. My feel some stretching of the hamstring muscles or even the back of the calves. Inhaling when we're ready and standing up. We'll move into some back bends to go oppose those forward folds. Inhaling, raising up the arms, and exhaling, bending back slightly and slowly, feeling the extension more in the upper back. Exhaling down the arms, inhaling, raising up. Reaching up through the fingertips and exhaling back. Releasing the arms. We'll do a couple more times at our own pace. Inhaling up and exhaling back. Throughout this, we're keeping a braced core as we're reaching back, kind of keeping the lower back a little bit still as we're extending through the upper back. Every little bit of motion makes some progress, if you will. You feel more release, even if it's a little bend in the upper back. It's probably more effective than just, having that wedge there. A lot of times you have to open up the upper back as well, the upper shoulders and chest and things. Let's do a few sun salutations. Inhaling, raising up. Exhaling, folding forward. Stepping back into plank with both feet and lowering down. Inhaling up in upward facing dog. And then exhaling back in a downward facing dog. Staying here for a few breaths. Inhaling, looking up with the hands and stepping forward into forward fold. I'm attempting to keep my hand flat here. So definitely noticing a difference in musculature. Inhaling, raising up to standing. Let's raise the arms up and exhale, folding forward again into another. On the other side, stepping back into plank. And exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, raising up to upward facing dog. And exhaling to downward facing dog. My left shoulder is, releasing a lot of adhesion here, so I'm just moving through these. Inhaling, looking up at the hands, stepping forward into forward fold. Inhaling with a flat back, raising up to standing. And we can do this one more time on each side, or going at your own pace. feeling the body warming up as we're moving through our sun salutations. Really moving through those shoulder joints, pressing back with the feet, pressing the pelvis up towards the sky, lengthening in the back. Finding ourselves stepping forward and returning to standing pose. Finding ourselves in standing, we can do some twisting type movements, keeping our feet rooted and our hips close to square to the front, but moving slightly as we're rotating from the upper body towards the left. Looking over the left shoulder. Exhaling, returning to center, and then rotating towards the other side. With each breath, feeling a release of any tension or any snap, crackle, pop type sounds you might hear. For instance, I hear it at the base of my skull here, the occipital region. Whenever I really, turn that way. We can shake it out and relax a bit. We'll step back into Warrior One. Inhaling into mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhaling, stepping back with one leg. Keeping the front knee over the front ankle and having the back foot kind of at around 45 degrees away from the body. The leg extended in the back, the front knee is bent over the front ankle. Starting at Warrior One, placing our hands together in the prayer pose and having some awareness of the pelvis turning forward. So instead of having it like this, we're really finding the awareness of the musculature working all around. If we have the pelvic squared forward more, and we're looking at that alignment of the knee above the ankle. Bracing the core, so we don't want to have too much of a sway back, but bracing that core, pressing the pelvic bones forward. Bringing the hands together. And let's step back to the standing pose and take a few breaths here. We'll do another back extension, inhaling, raising up the arms and extending back slightly through the upper spine. Maybe feeling a stretch in the abdominals, the front here. And exhaling, stepping back with the other side into Warrior One posture. Starting with the foundation. From the feet, alignment up to the knees in the front, the knee in the front, extended back leg, and rolling the pelvic bones towards the front. I'm noticing a lot more tightness in my left foot, which I've had some kind of plantar fasciitis thing. And I noticed after a few days of doing this, usually it gets better. So no guarantee for anything, but this does make you more aware of any imbalances. When you're really allowing the alignment and then seeing if you could return to a symmetrical type alignment with both sides of the posture. This knee is having trouble getting even further over to the ankle now on this side. So you may notice some differences in your own body. Just working towards that. Bringing the hands together in the prayer pose. And this time we'll step forward, coming to standing, raising up and extending back. Exhaling, coming to standing. Let's step back into warrior one, and this time raising the arms overhead. Stepping back into that same warrior one on the first side. However deep into the pose you feel comfortable. And then raising the arms up towards the ears. Pressing the shoulders slightly down and away from the ears. Taking a few breaths here. And inhale, stepping forward, exhaling into mountain pose. Taking an inhale, raising up the arms, exhaling back into back extension. Exhaling, releasing the arms, and stepping back to the other side with warrior one. Finding the same posture with the other side. Noticing any difference in the fascia and the musculature, the way it pulls, the way it's proprioception. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Right now I'm really lengthening the medial part of my left foot in a safe way, as long as it doesn't have sharp pain like that. But it's more of a stretching type feeling. Then exhaling, stepping forward into mountain pose. We'll add triangle to this posture now. Inhaling, we'll do another back extension, slight. Exhaling, stepping back into warrior one. We can bring the hands at our heart area or overhead. Let's for today go from prayer pose. And then extending the front leg as well. So there's a micro bend in the knee. It's not locked out, it's micro bend. And reaching down into triangle pose. Having that lower hand come along the calf or towards the foot. And opening up the upper shoulder towards the sky. Taking a few breaths here. Basically keeping the back heel close to in line with the front heel. As an option, raising the upper arm, extending, and focusing on that upper thumb. I'm using my core to keep up here. I'm not leaning all my weight on the leg. It can be used for support. You can also use a block or reach all the way down to the ground. Really focusing on extending here and lifting up with the core. Going back into the warrior one and stepping forward to the mountain pose. Do a mini back bend here. Inhaling, raising up. And exhaling, stepping back into warrior one with the other side. Finding the proprioception, awareness, and Turning the hips, bracing the core, knee over ankle. Yoga doesn't have to exactly be, done this way. The knee can go ahead of the ankle, but in alignment, teaching a lot of people, it's generally taught in a way that's most accessible to most people with the least amount of injury likely. So even though we always do have our knee ahead of our ankle, but I think it does put some weight on the ligaments in the knee. Then coming to hands together and moving into triangle pose, extending the front leg, opening up the hips, reaching down with that lower hand towards the foot, keeping the back leg and front leg extended with a micro bend in the knee in the front. And then as we get to here, it's not really, I'm leaning on my weight here, but I'm turning and opening, using the core lengthening on the upper side. We can rest our hand here to kind of assist with opening up, feeling the release with each breath. As an option, we can raise our hand up towards the sky and focus on that thumb. I have stiff muscles in my left neck because of some shoulder, neck, back thing that I've been healing from. So you might notice a little less rotation with me on the left, towards the left. But I have noticed a lot of cavitation, a lot of like dull cracking sounds as I'm moving, torso, everything. It's like really getting deep in there and releasing some things. Doesn't mean I'm adjusting myself, but it does mean that I'm sort of releasing some things. Then stepping forward to the mountain pose, we'll do a little bit of balance into tree pose, bringing the heel up against the calf and taking a few breaths here. It's always important to bring the heart rate down after doing some more active standing postures. Then releasing the pose and moving to the other side into tree posture. Definitely build some proprioception, especially with balance where we got all those fine muscle movements going on. And then you have your alignment, your breath. Great way to bring mindfulness into our practice. And then we can find ourselves on the mats. One way to go down safely is to squat all the way down and then roll back. If that's accessible for you, or you can find any other way to just simply sit down on the mat. We'll do a fold here, a seated fold, raising up the arms, inhaling and exhaling, folding forward. Reaching the heart towards the feet. Taking a few breaths here. I literally feel the stretch into my left big toe, which is kind of related to the medial side of my left foot that I was feeling before. Might be extensor hallucis longus. Now we can roll ourselves onto the mat as we prepare for resting pose. There we go, that's just a fun way to do it. We can extend the arms and legs the wrists beside and the head, lengthening the neck and releasing down to the ground. You can remain in this resting pose and guide you through some breathing, envisioning the breath going from the head all the way down into the toes. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Now with each breath, sinking down further into the ground, allowing the wrists, the ankles, and the back of the head sinking down. And deep inhale and deep exhale. We'll spend a few moments here paying attention to the breath. Finding ourselves in the environment again, with some awareness in the limbs and the body, the head, fingers moving. Coming to a seated posture when it's comfortable. And remember, we can return to this practice which involves some mindful awareness, proprioception in the body, and all the breathing as well. We'll end saying namaste.